Hey YouTube, it's Jeff at Darkmoon Metals. I want to take a couple of minutes and just talk to you about my channel before I get into the bulk of the project. If you want to fast forward to the project, feel free. It's the internet, you can do whatever you want. But for those of you who want to stick around, I'd like to thank you all for coming onto my channel and taking the time to see what I have to offer. And lately it's been incredible. My channel has been growing slowly but steadily, and I've been getting a lot of new people coming on board and talking to me through comments and emails, and it's been a pretty interesting experience so far. But for some reason, over the last month or so, things are starting to explode. And I mean, it's not like a full volcanic eruption or anything, but it's noticeable. It's very noticeable. I was ecstatic when my channel got to the point where I was averaging about 100 new subscribers a month. And I thought that was great. And then for some reason, and yes, it may have something to do with I'm finally starting to kick more videos out, which kind of makes sense. I'm taking the time to try to improve the video quality, which also will draw people to your channel. In the first week of October, YouTube calculated yesterday from October 1st to October 7th, so it's really the first full week of October. I got 108 subscribers in just that short period of time. It wasn't the whole month to get my 100 average. It was the first week, and it is something that I do take notice of and I do take seriously. This morning, I woke up at 6 o'clock. I was kind of excited. And I went over and I wanted to see if I had gotten anybody new, you know, just in the short time that I was asleep, because I did stay up rather late last night. And I had gotten a few new subscribers, and I had gotten a wonderful comment from a gentleman who saw my last video and said, hey, you know, it's kind of hard to see you when you're filming over by the welding table. It's kind of dark. And I have been thinking about this problem for a while. And I'm glad that he left that comment, because it's actually motivated me to take care of it today. I'm going to be building something that is going to be beneficial for me filming, but it's also a usable shop light. So if you have dark areas in your shop, or you want a little bit of extra light by a lathe or by a mill, this originally came about from something my father built a long time ago. I may have mentioned he was interested in restoring old cars. Well, we've had the same lighting in the shop that we've had for years, and what he did is he took an 8-foot fluorescent light and mounted it vertically on a pole. It had wheels and it was weighted at the base so it wouldn't tip over. And he could take that light and move it wherever he needed to in the shop. So when he was sanding out the side of, like, you know, fenders and doors, he could see the shadows and see where the low and the high spots were. Unfortunately, I think he gave that light to a friend when they were moving out of this house, when they originally thought they were going to move. So what I'm going to do today is kind of recreate that light, but I'm going to fine tune it. I'm going to use LEDs, so it's a little more modern and a little more energy efficient. And I'm going to put this together with you guys, maybe give you a few ideas for your shop, and in the long run, it's going to help improve the quality of the video as far as lighting. Once again, I truly want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for subscribing to the channel and watching to see what I have to put out here. And on that note, let's get some more stuff out here. Let's get started. So let's talk about the ingredients list for this build. I want the base to be heavy, so the light isn't top heavy and easy to knock over. One of the things I like keeping around the shop are brake rotors. Friends drop these off. They actually think I scrap them. Some of them I do if they're really bad, but ones like this that have still nice surface finishes on them, not too badly rusted, I'll use these for projects, especially when I need to weigh something down. They just come in handy for that sort of thing. And because I want a little extra weight on this, I'm going to be using two together. This one needs to be cleaned up a lot, but the whole concept, I'm going to take one and put it inside the other. The bottom one is a bigger diameter than this one, so it'll give me a nice lip to put a weld on. This is some heavy gauge square tubing. Normally I wouldn't use something this heavy, but I am using it just for the weight. It's definitely not for the structure. This came off of a wheelchair lift. Dana's father had a new wheelchair lift installed. This was some of the heavy material that came off, but it's short pieces, so I really haven't found anything else to do with it, so I'm going to use them for this project. I have a couple of long pieces of material here. Again, it's got a fairly thick wall in it. I'm going to use these as the uprights to hold the light vertically. And last but not least, other than light of course, I got a couple of very inexpensive casters so I can roll it around the shop. The light I purchased for this particular build came from Walmart. It is Lights of America 4-foot aluminum LED shop light, 4,500 lumens. It cost, let's see here, $42.84. It's a little bit more than I would have liked to have spent, but when I thought about it, if I bought something like a track light with the screw-in LED bulbs and all the accessories I would need to get that hooked up, they were almost the same exact price. And this thing has 240 LEDs in it. So I figured it would be worth getting this because it's one unit, it's already got a cord on it, I wouldn't have to really do too much to mount it. So in the long run, it just seemed to be worth it. Alright YouTube, let's take this light for a test drive. Whoa, hello. Wow. That's not bad at all. Yeah, YouTube, I definitely think we're going to solve our problem with this guy. Let's get the shop lights turned back on and start the build. So not only is this thing bright, it actually seems to be built rather well too. It's got a fairly decent aluminum housing on it. There's only one fly in the ointment. The mounting surfaces, well, it's really not a mounting surface, it's where you put the chain through. They assume that these are all going to be hung from a ceiling. And all they have are these plastic tabs. And because this is aluminum, I don't want to weld directly to the light because I know I'm going to melt stuff on the inside. And I'm not going to take this thing apart. And I'm not willing to try to drill holes through here because I don't know if there's any kind of electronic components in it. So my design, as far as how I'm going to mount this, isn't going to work out the way I figured, so I need to come up with something different. I think I figured out a solution for mounting this light to my upright. What I did is I took a piece of square stock, I cut out one side, and this is, it's going to be a tight fit, but it will fit over this aluminum housing. There's actually a little bit of a lip in the way. If I push this down a little bit harder, it probably will lock into place. But what I intend to do is drill a couple of holes on either side and thread them for Allen screws so I can screw it into the frame without damaging it, and it should give me a nice snug fit and it'll hold really well. So once this is on, make sure I stay in frame here, I'm going to take this piece of square, I'm going to weld it on top like that. Now what this is going to do, this is my new upright. I've got to change from what I had before because this fits almost perfect where I can slide it up and down. I can actually change the height of the light up to about 6 feet, which is something I hadn't planned on doing. It just worked out that way. Now for this, I'm going to drill a hole in the side large enough for this bolt to fit through. I'm going to weld the nut right on top of the hole, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to weld a T-handle so I don't need any tools to adjust it. I finished mocking up the trolley, well at least that's what I'm calling it, and I welded it out. Now I just need to wait for it to cool. While that's happening, I'm going to start working on the base. Again, I'm going to do most of my welding off camera simply because I don't want to drag this out into a really long video. Alright YouTube, the welding and fabrication process is pretty much done. Now I just need to assemble it. But let me show you where I am so far. I'll come around to the other side of the camera and give you a look at what I'm seeing. So that is the base. It's a 3-wheel design, so it won't wobble on an uneven floor. And yeah, my floor is uneven. Turns out, back when my father was doing auto body work and washing cars and really into cars, when they poured this concrete floor, they actually angled it so it goes towards the front of the garage for drainage so they could wash the cars in the wintertime. Well, that's awesome if you're washing cars, but if you're trying to level machinery on that or build something that's level, not so much. So now that the base is done, it's on to assembly. I've got a little bit of my anti-skid cloth here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little piece of it off the corner and use it in conjunction with the trolley that I made, just for a little bit extra grabbing power. Cut this out here real quick. And I also did one other thing. I changed something. Nothing drastic. I said that I was going to use Allen head screws here, but I opted for old school 1/2-inch square bolts because I had them laying around. I'm not really going to use them on any other project. So this is just a nice way to get rid of them. Plus, this whole build is kind of a Frankenstein deal anyway. It's all assembled out of spare parts. Oh, that locks on pretty nice. I don't think that's going anywhere. All right, let's put it on the pole and see what we got. It feels like there's a little bit of a burr in there from where I drilled the hole. I might have to go in with a file and clean that out, so I will be right back. So let's take this thing for a test drive and see if it was worth the effort. This is with regular shop lighting. That's with our new lighting. I think that's an improvement. Old lighting. New lighting. Old lighting. New lighting. I'm looking at myself in the camera and I look like I'm lit up like Casper. I mean, this thing is really, really bright. But I do want to take a moment to thank the individual who got me motivated this morning to finally do a project that I had been wanting to do for myself for quite a while. Get it done for the shop and for the channel. You know who you are. I responded to your comment early this morning, and I do appreciate constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is always welcome. And ultimately, if you give me a suggestion that I can implement in my channel where I can give my subscribers or just random people passing through a better quality video, I am definitely more than willing to take the time to do it if I can afford it and I can make it happen. So until the next video, guys, this has been Jeff at Darkmoon Metals, and I will see you again soon. I feel like J.J. Abrams with all this lens flare.